Labels, we all have them, whether it is trans, straight, gay, woman, or man. But did you know these labels can actually be harmful for your personality? Hi, my name is Mia, and in this video I will be telling you all about labels. Everything from what a label is, to real-life examples of how it can be harmful to someone's development and personality. Let's get right into it. So according to the Oxford Dictionary, a label is a classifying phrase or name applied to a person or thing, especially one that is inaccurate or restrictive. So if you're anything like me, that probably just sounded like a bunch of words to you. But to simplify it, a label is a term you can add onto yourself or something to describe what it is. This can, for example, be anything from gender to sexuality to even your nationality or what kind of hobby you're into. Labels are used all over the place to help people identify people and things in certain groups. The human brain likes to put people and things into groups because it's a lot easier for it. This is the groundwork of how most humans, and especially children, make their identities and build them up. By adhering and giving yourself a set of labels, it's easy to communicate with other people what you are and what you're into. And that, for example, makes making friends easier for a child, or dating easier for a person who's into specific things. But I want you to look back on the dictionary definition again, where it says restrictive. That part is very important and what the main focus of this video is about. One of my favorite examples of a label being restrictive is the label boy and label girl. Same goes for man and woman. These labels are some of the most societally restrictive labels there are. Most people all around the world are taught that if you're a boy, you're allowed to do this but not this, and if you're a girl, you're allowed to do that but not that. Being a boy, it's okay to like dinosaur and police cars and military shit. While being a girl, you have to like dolls and be really preppy, and you can't like be masculine at all and stuff like that. So these labels societally are restrictive. They add an expectation of how you should act and how you shouldn't act. That restricts how someone can develop. Now this is all fine and dandy, not really, but it isn't the biggest problem when people are kids. But as people grow up, they still feel like they need to adhere to the labels that they have. And this can stop people from exploring themselves and finding new things they like. I know guys my age who are afraid to dress nice because they will appear too feminine and it's not manly enough. You're probably sitting right now thinking, Mia, why are you telling me this? How is this useful for me as a queer person? Here comes two things. The first one is adhering to your new labels. And the second one is trying to fit into a label. Let me explain. For some trans people, for example, after they transition, they change their hobbies. Not necessarily because they didn't like their old hobbies, and they might even still like it, but because the hobby isn't seen as feminine or manly enough. And they're afraid that if they continue with this hobby, they won't be seen as enough of a man or enough of a woman. And this is where labels get really harmful, when you have to adhere to them to a level where you have to change who you actually are to fit into them. I run a Discord server called Cult of the Paw. The link is in the description if you want to join. It's full of amazing people. That Discord server is made up by my YouTube community, so people who watch my videos. And because of that, there's a lot of people in that server who haven't figured out their own gender identity yet. Who haven't figured out who they are. Because, as you can clearly tell, I'm a trans YouTuber. And first of all, is there anything wrong with that? Not at all. It takes time, and I understand. I'm really happy that you're working on yourself. Proud of you. But I've seen on many occasions people who struggle so much with finding a label that they feel like fit them, to the point where they start panicking about it. People feel like they're invalid in a way if they don't have a label that fits their situation. And that is where my beef with labels originates. When I see it hurt people to try to find a label that they fit into, or they have a label, but then they're like, oh, maybe I'm not this because I'm like this. Like, for example, maybe I'm not a trans fan because I kind of like being a guy 10% of the time. Things where they're in a gray zone. Because labels in themselves, and I've been talking about this, are restrictive. They have clear set boundaries. The thing that many people don't realize, sadly, is that labels are tools. Labels are not there for you to fit into them. They're there for you to use to better communicate who you are. My gender identity is really complicated. I haven't quite figured that out. And I hope that there's some of you that feel a bit reassured when you hear that. Because I know there's so many of you struggling to understand your own gender identity, and you don't know what to do about it. You don't know how to feel about it. It's confusing, it's rough, it's hard. And not having a label for your identity in a society and a world so focused on labels can hurt. But everyone needs to realize that labels don't define you. You need to define your own labels. One of the most important things for developing your identity and your transition, if you're trans, is to not focus too hard on these labels. Do not focus too hard on needing to fit into this little group of something. Because while developing and discovering your gender identity, you need to give yourself the freedom to learn about yourself.
Whoa, hey, what is this? This is me, Arent, on this channel? Well, surprise, I guess. Well, I have to give you my opinions as well. Little thing, I'm recording this video before I saw Mia's video, so, sorry if I'm repeating anything, okay? But I have to tell you something. Labels can both help, and they can be kinda, like, be hurtful and destroyable. Obviously, there are bad labels that people use to insult other people, right? There are labels that people use to classify things, right? You can classify a fruit. Tomatoes are fruits, by the way, in case you didn't know. You can classify something like being male, being female. You can classify something like being a pair of pants instead of a pair of shorts, like, right? And we do tend to classify humans quite a lot as well. So we do say things like, yeah, I'm gay, I'm bi, I'm lesbian, yeah, I'm trans, I'm a man, I'm a woman, etc., 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 like all of these things. But I think what's very important, and to be honest, you probably heard this from me already, it's very important that you are the person who chooses your own labels, right? Because, like, somebody else labeling you has no effect on you. It shouldn't have. They have no power over you. 2, labeling yourself can be very empowering. For example, let's say you have ADHD, but you don't know that yet, right? You feel like something is different about you, and this is what happened to me, right? You feel like something's different about you. You feel maybe I'm just like lazy. Why can I not like do these tasks like other people? But then at some point, maybe if you get diagnosed, you have like this thing, you have this word, you have this label, ADHD, and you know, okay, oh my God, that's what's wrong, right? Or like, that's what's happening. So you have something that you can put a word into, and I think that's very powerful. And feel like I've read this multiple times already, where many people that do have ADHD or like autism and stuff like that found it very helpful to have the diagnosis, to finally have a word for it. And the same thing can obviously go for being trans, for example, right? When I first like realized that I'm trans, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, okay? But then again, only choose your own labels, and if somebody else tries to label you, you'll label them back as a baka, okay? You label them as a freaking baka, okay? Okay, I'm heading out now. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching, and if there's one thing you can take out of this video, it's to give a bit of a shit. Like, wait, that's not how it goes. Not give a shit. Like, forget about the labels for a bit. Don't over-focus on them. Focus on yourself and who you are. Labels are only there to help you tell other people what you are. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping either a like or a subscribe and even a comment. And if you want to prove that you made it all the way to the end of the video, feel free to drop a paw emoji in the comment to prove it. I will heart your comment. Again, I really hope this video can help some of you, and just be patient with yourself, okay? And a special thanks to my Buy Me a Coffee supporters, Vermelia Vixen, Aspen and Victoria, and like amazingly big, amazing, huge, I don't even know what verb to use, thanks to River for you being a divine supporter of this channel. It means so much to me, all of you do. You keep the channel alive, thank you. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!